ready to fire. Shield at 0%.
Heyo! What's up, y'all? I'm Zinbad, and I want to talk to you about HAILEY. No, not that HAILEY. HAILEY Scott.
Hi.
Nope, not that one either. HAILEY from the First Descendant. So you've surely seen the damage that she can put out, and I want to walk you through how to get there. First off, let's go over her abilities. Her first ability, Cryo Round, shoots 9 times at targets in front of HAILEY, dealing damage and applying a unique debuff called Cryo. This is not the same as the Chill debuff, this is unique to HAILEY. Targets take 50% increased firearm damage when debuffed, and HAILEY's firearm attacks will remove 1 stack of the debuff. That includes shots from her 4. Her second skill, Storm Snare, fires a freezing beam that deals huge damage thanks to an almost 9,000% skill modifier.
What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right!
The beam pierces targets and has a small AoE, and the skill also creates a chill vortex around HAILEY, causing knockback and applying cryo. This AoE can apply 9 cryo stacks, while a direct hit from the beam only applies 5. HAILEY's 3, Cold Fury, grants a buff every second to HAILEY's skill crit rate and firearm crit rate at the cost of move speed and MP use. At max stacks, which is 16, you're also getting a crit damage buff by 20% to both firearms and skills. Now for her 4, Zenith. She pulls out a unique sniper that scales based on both your skill and weapon stat values, so having both HAILEY and a weapon built is important. With her 4, you'll see 2 damage numbers, 1 skill damage, and 1 weapon. If you see a 3rd or a 4th, that's either going to be an element that your gun is adding in, or the cryo stacks applying additional weapon damage. These damage numbers are independent, one does not affect the other. Last but not least, her passive grants more weak point damage based on how far away your target is, maxing at 50% increase when 25 meters away or more. This also reduces your weak point damage if you are below 12.5 meters away from your target. Just for reference. There is an indicator on the screen. You'll see the icon fill up either snowy or it'll look red, depending on if you are gaining damage or losing damage from the passive. Now, let's get into these builds. For her skill damage build, can you guess what mods we're going to use? If you guessed crits and dangerous ambush, you're right. Congrats. Here, have a cookie. HAILEY is all about crits, so you want skill insight, skill concentration, front lines, and emergency measures to keep those crits coming in often and hard. With this setup, you only need 3 levels in skill insight to max her crit rate while her 3 is active. Anything above this is pretty much just wasted capacity. We don't have a usage for that extra capacity right now, but this may be relevant when the red mods come into play. I run increased HP and Spear and Shield for extra survivability. Also, the extra skill power from Spear and Shield is really nice. An important note here is the difference between skill power and skill power modifier. Skill power is whatever your reactor gives you plus bonuses to your skill power percent. Skill power modifier determines what percent of your skill power is used. HAILEY's skill power modifier is already crazy high on her 2 main damage skills, so an additive change to that percent won't make any difference really. So if you added Technician into this build, you can see the freezing beam direct damage here is skill power times 8,902.2%. So you would add 50% onto that, not adding in another 4,000 plus percent. It would be 8,952.2, which obviously isn't that big of a change. However, any changes to her base skill power then get multiplied by that 8,900%, you can see where I'm going with this. Changes to base skill power are very, very powerful on HAILEY. Ignore skill power modifier. With that being said, we are running Chill Specialist and Glacial Synxium for extra chill skill power. We run Focus on Singular here for extra singular skill power modifier and skill cooldown. This one isn't super influential, but we don't have anything better for that slot really. If you want to put in something for survivability, feel free. You could put in Shot Focus if you want more firearm damage outside of your 4 ability, but Focus on Singular is going to be putting more damage out than Shot Focus. Dangerous Ambush is a must-have for the skill power increase on Colossi that are downed or not focusing you. The base skill power boost it provides is massive. For your weapon with this build, we have quite the debate that's gone around with a new contender that showed up recently. Typically, this build will either run Piercing Light or Afterglow Sword. Run whatever you have built and a good HAILEY reactor for. I run Piercing Light because, for one, it's what I had, and for two, the best reactor I found had a Piercing Light mounting on it. Here are the mods. All of this affects the weapon damage chunk of your sniper shots in your 4th ability, and the increased rounds per mag gives you more shots during your skill up to 8. Do note, you need a 12% mag size substat roll on your weapon with this build to make this possible. Anything short, and you'll only have 7 shots. That's going to take a big chunk out of your damage. Ideally, I would have weak point expansion maxed here, as well as focus fire in this last open slot, but I'm not quite there yet. As an alternative to weak point expansion, you can use Special Sight. This will give you a constant weak point damage bonus, whereas weak point expansion has a cooldown. As a side note, all of the elemental damage mods for your weapon are not good to use here because they are not bundled in with the weapon damage in your 4th ability. They are a separate additive thing that doesn't really get any boost, and just don't run these, it's pointless. As for your rolls, you want what I've got here, but you want all gold, obviously. Important to note, you want to go for that 12% rounds per magazine roll first. So it's only costing 1 reroll material. Since you absolutely have to get the perfect roll on that, you need to focus that first, and then get the other 3 after you've got your rounds per magazine 12% locked in. As for the new contender, we have impact round weapons, surprisingly. I found out about this from Mewi, so shout out to him for the creative idea. I'll link his video on the topic in the description. The long story short is, run Perforator or Nazistra's Devotion with Payout, Mag Mods, and any roll on the Mag substat. Payout gives you no ammo consumption for 3 seconds after a weak point hit. With mods, you're looking at 8 rounds, plus if you're firing quickly, you have time to get off another 3 shots thanks to Payout. So overall, you're looking at less damage per shot with more shots overall. Part of the beauty of this setup is not needing to get weak point hits after the first one. It's a trade-off. Slightly less damage per shot, more ease of use. Go watch Mewi's video, he breaks it down really well. Another reason to consider this route is the impact round scout rifle we're getting in October, as it reduces chill resist. This is likely going to be the new best in slot for overall damage, I expect. For the reactor, you want an ultimate frozen singularity with the mounting of your choice for the weapons we just went over. Singularity boosts are 2 and 4, which is where all the damage is at. For substats, you want Colossus damage and singular skill damage. The Colossus damage is crucial here. Singular is nice, but prioritize Colossus. Other decent options are chill power or crit damage instead of singular. Realistically, just find you a Colossus damage one and hold until our October 10th update when the new weapon comes out and the red mods, because we don't know what things are going to look like then. So I wouldn't sink too much time into farming a reactor right now. For externals, you want the Slayer set, hands down. This extra skill power is nuts for her. Very important. Run Slayer or you are going to see a major hit to your damage. As for your substats, you want anything MP related, and then something for survivability. So the biggest thing here is your sensor. You want max MP and ideally MP recovery in combat. Those are big. You want MP recovery modifier, and ideally you would want MP recovery out of combat. I haven't gotten that on any of my pieces yet, but in a perfect world, you want every one of the MP substats on your external components. Beyond that, anything that's health or defense is acceptable. And then finally, shield is okay because there's really not much better in the processor slot. Skill rotations with this build go like this. Activate your 3, so it's at max stacks when you can start damaging the boss. Activate your 4 when you're in position, and wait. You want these steps done before the boss is done spawning in. Apply your 1 to give cryo stacks on the boss. Shoot the weak point. Shoot the weak point. It's dead. Now, Pyro is weak to chill damage, so Pyro's going to go down pretty fast. But any other boss that requires more shots, just keep unloading until you're out of ammo. As a side note, you can activate your 1 and 3 abilities while you're in your 4. As for her second build, I wanted something for Gluttony. If you've ever wanted to carry the fight on Gluttony, I guess this is the build for you. The idea here is to keep your 3 skill running for pretty much the whole fight, and spam your 1 at the boss to keep it debuffed for more firearm damage. This build is focused on survivability and pure weapon damage. Increased defense and HP are self-explanatory. I went HP amp over stim accelerant because MP is important in this build, so I would rather sacrifice a little bit of shield to keep that MP up. We got shot focus for more weapon damage. We don't care about skill power on this build, so this is obviously going in. We're running Walk a Tightrope because it's just free real estate, honestly. So much of the Gluttony fight, you will probably be under half health, so you're getting 30% extra firearm attack for just doing your best to stay alive. This is also part of the point of adding survivability mods. Keeps you safer when you're below half and that boosted damage range. Strong mentality and max conservation are there to make your 1 and 3 cheaper, which is crucial to this build. The idea here is keep your 3 running most of the fight and spam your 1 at the boss to keep it debuffed for more firearm damage. Nimble fingers and MP conversion make it so that you are constantly able to send out HAILEY's 1 ability to apply cryo stacks with pretty much 0 downtime. For the last slot, I went energy collection, but alternatively you could run enlightenment for more max MP. Energy collection felt better for me with my passive MP gains from my externals being boosted. If you don't have MP gain on your externals though, well, go farm for that, but until then, run enlightenment. Weapon-wise here, I would say either run Greg's Reversed Fate or the Enduring Legacy, whichever you prefer and have built. I preferred Greg's. My Greg's is more built than my Enduring Legacy though, so this is all going to come down to preference. Greg's is fun. I like the bombardments. I've got it fully upgraded. My Enduring Legacy is not fully upgraded yet, nor is it fully catalyzed. If you want a video on building either of those weapons, I can cover it, but there's also a ton of other videos out there already, and I'm not sure if I'd have anything new to provide there. So if that's something you want to see though, let me know. For your reactor, all you want is skill cost and cooldown substats. That's it. You don't need a matching mounting, you don't need a matching element or type, none of that. Skill power is irrelevant for your 1 and 3 abilities, so just get cost and cooldown so you can keep your 1 and 3 up constantly. The externals you're looking for are annihilation components with all the MP substats and survivability. So get your MP stuff, get max HP, get max defense, get shield stuff on your processor because that's really all you can get there, and go from there. With the Annihilation set and Walk a Tightrope together, you are getting a bunch of extra firearm damage when you're below half health. I would say don't intentionally try to go below half health on the Gluttony fight and just play normally, but if you want to take that extra damage on purpose to activate your boosted firearm damage, go for it, but just be careful. If you're feeling really saucy, you could drop Energy Collection and slot in Conditional Recharge. I wouldn't recommend it, but this is a way to quickly bring your health down below that 50% mark if you want to go into your buffed damage as quickly as possible. But considering we're spamming 1, you're going to be on like 1 HP the whole fight. So just be careful if you decide to run that. Just know it is an option. With all that said, I think that's about everything you need to know building HAILEY. At least till her Transcendent mods come out along with the new chill weapon. If I missed anything, let me know, and be sure to like and subscribe if this helped you and you'd like to see more. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. You can also end your 4 early to use your 2 while the boss is still down, resulting in more damage from your 2. Watch this.
Recharge my shield.
That didn't crit.